There is a certain kind of person who finishes something beautiful, a project, a conversation, a quiet Tuesday where nothing went wrong, and still lies awake that night feeling like they came up short. Not dramatically, not loudly, just that low, steady hum beneath everything. The feeling that somehow, despite all of it, they were not quite enough. You know this feeling. You've known it for a long time. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It doesn't announce itself the way grief does, or fear, or anger. It's quieter than all of those. It lives in the pause after someone says, "I'm proud of you." That half second where you can't quite let the words land. It lives in the way you apologize before you've done anything wrong. In the way you say, "I'm fine," before anyone even asks. And here's what no one tells you. This feeling is not a character flaw. It is not laziness or weakness or ingratitude. It is something much older than any of that. Something that was built into you long before you had the words to question it. You are the kind of person who works harder than almost everyone around you. And yet the finish line keeps moving. You cross one threshold and immediately look up to find another. You receive a compliment and spend the rest of the afternoon dismantling it, searching for the caveat, the polite lie tucked inside the kindness. You hold yourself to a standard you would never, not once, hold another person to. That double rule. You've lived inside it so long you've stopped noticing it's there. There's a specific exhaustion that comes from living this way, not the tired that sleep fixes. The other kind, the kind that sits behind your eyes and in the back of your throat. The kind that makes even good days feel like something you survived rather than something you lived. You keep going because stopping feels dangerous, because somewhere deep in the wiring of you, rest started to feel like failure. And still, you smile, you show up. You carry your invisible weight with such practiced grace that most people have no idea you're carrying anything at all. Psychologists have a name for what lives at the root of this. They call it conditional worth, the internalized belief, often formed in childhood, that love and belonging are not freely given but earned through performance. John Bowlby, who spent decades studying the way early attachment shapes the human soul, wrote that a child's first and most urgent need is not food or shelter, but the felt sense of being wanted without condition. When that felt sense is fragile, when love in the home was unpredictable or quiet or tied to behavior, the nervous system learns a dangerous equation. Good enough equals safe, falling short equals alone. And that equation, written into you before you knew how to read, has been running in the background of your life ever since. Alice Miller, a psychologist who spent her life tracing the long shadows of childhood into adulthood, described what she called the gifted child. Not gifted in the traditional sense, but gifted at sensing what was needed. Gifted at adjusting, at shrinking or performing or achieving, depending on what the room required. These are often the most sensitive children, the ones who felt everything. And because they felt everything, they learned to manage everything, starting with themselves. Maybe that was you. The one who read the mood in a room before you crossed the threshold. The one who made yourself smaller or brighter or more helpful, depending on what would keep things steady. The one who learned, quietly and without anyone teaching you directly, that who you simply were might not be enough. That was not weakness, that was survival. Understand that. What looks like perfectionism from the outside is often, at its core, a child who is still trying to be safe, still trying to earn the thing that should have simply been given. The self-criticism isn't you being hard on yourself. It's an old voice, borrowed from somewhere or someone, that you never got the chance to question. You absorbed it so early, it started to sound like your own. And here is the deeper truth, the one that changes things when you finally let it in. You were never actually falling short. You were measuring yourself against a standard that was never meant for human beings. A standard built from fear, not love. From performance, not presence. The goalpost was always going to move, not because you failed to reach it, but because it was never real to begin with. So what do you do with that? There is a quiet practice, small enough to fit in the space between one breath and the next. When the familiar feeling arrives, that low hum of not enough, instead of running from it or arguing with it, simply notice it. Name it gently, the way you would name a child who woke frightened in the dark. Say to yourself, this is the old feeling. I know you. You're not the truth of me. You're the echo of something I survived. You can be here, but you don't get to decide. This is not denial. It is not telling the feeling to leave. It is something more honest than that, witnessing it without becoming it. And slowly, with practice, something begins to shift. Notice also what happens when you begin to apply to yourself even a fraction of the grace you give to others. You would never look at someone you loved and tell them they weren't enough because they made a mistake or needed rest or didn't achieve everything on a given day. You would offer them softness. You would mean it. The invitation, not a command, just an invitation, is to become someone who is also on the receiving end of your own mercy. To let yourself be as human as you allow everyone else to be. This is harder than it sounds. You know it is. Old roots go deep. But deep roots also mean there is something solid in you, something real that has held you through everything you thought might break you. And here is one more thing worth sitting with. Healing doesn't come as one clean moment of clarity. It doesn't arrive like a door swinging open all at once. It comes more like a slow softening of the light through a window that was once kept shut. One morning you wake, and the first thought you have isn't a critique. One afternoon, you do something imperfect, and the wave of shame is a little smaller than it used to be. One conversation, you catch yourself saying what you actually feel, instead of what you think will be acceptable. These small moments are not small, they are everything. The path back to yourself is not dramatic. It is made of 10,000 quiet choices to treat your own inner life as something worth listening to. To ask not just what you have achieved today, but what you have felt. Not just what you produced, but what you noticed. Not just whether you were enough, but whether you were simply here. You have been so busy trying to earn your place in the world that you may have forgotten something essential. You already have one. You were given it the moment you arrived. Not because of what you would accomplish, not because of how well you would perform or how little you would ask for, or how perfectly you would hold yourself together. You were given it simply because you were here, breathing, feeling alive. The voice that tells you otherwise is not the truth of you. It is only the loudest thing in the room, and loud has never meant right. You are the kind of person who feels deeply, who cares more than most, who carries things quietly, because you learned early that was what was asked of you. That sensitivity is not your weakness. It is the most profound thing about you. It always has been. And maybe, just maybe, the work now is not to become more, but to finally gently let yourself be.